Hey guys, drdecks here. Today we are doing some final touches to this deck before we start on our soffiting. The guys might catch up to me on some tasks, so we might end up starting the soffiting before I finish some of the other little things that we have to do before we're complete on this deck. Right now I'm working on some thresholds, and the guys are just caulking up a few spots because it's a waterproof deck and we just want to make sure we're bulletproof on no leaks. So if you like what you see today, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit the bell icon if you want to be notified when we're putting out new content. Let's get going on this. I got some Cortex plugs here, and I got some short screws here, and then I have some longer screws here. These are Cortex screws as well. So a little bit of everything going on today. All right, let's check it out. All right, so one of the things I had to do is, because the deck was a little bit lower in this space, I had to make a couple special thresholds to go between the decking and the door so water doesn't creep up. If there's a big storm or a heavy rain or something and water hits up against the house, I wanted to make sure the water couldn't get back behind there. So I've made these thresholds that will keep the water away, and it looks nice and it kind of fills the gap. So the reason for that is because this deck has drainage and the house has multiple projections. And where we started the deck is where the initial projection was, so there's not much of a threshold gap there. But then this side of the house is an additional 4 feet out, so there's about a ½ inch gap, because we couldn't, if we kept this side of the deck high, it would have messed up all our beams and framing, and there was a long drawn out thing. Dextradry helped me figure that out. Those guys are pretty good about, if you want to use their product, how to do it, training, getting you guys looped in, learning a little bit about their product and how to frame the deck as well. They're really good about that. So that was the decision we came up with, was that this section of the deck had to be a ½ inch lower than where I started 4 feet back from this point, because if we didn't, then it would have messed up all of our beams and framing. So that had to be calculated like when we were first building the deck. I probably, if you go back a few videos, you'll see that. So that's what I've been doing today. We have a ton of rain on the deck. We did a leak check today. There's no leaks on this deck at all, and I'm really happy about that. The Dextradry is performing as expected, and I expect many years of leak-free enjoyment underneath this deck to keep it dry. So give those guys a follow, give them a check, look them up. They have great information, great product. Goes in between groove boards to keep your deck waterproof. All right, let's go this way. So now what I'm doing is here's the other side of the house that's further back. It's 4 feet back further than that side over there. So this was ground zero for our start of our deck. So over on this door here, it goes from basically an 1/8 inch gap to about a ½ inch gap in about 3 feet. There's about an 1/8 inch per foot drainage, maybe a little more, not too much more, but it just keeps all the water away from the house. And then we kind of tilted this deck this way a little bit as well, because it had to coincide with this side of the deck, which needed to have pitch going this way. So I had to blend these two pitches. So this deck I'm standing on, from the door, it goes like this and like this, so that it can coincide with this side of the deck over here, which goes like this as well, okay? Obviously we don't have that much pitch, but I'm just kind of over accentuating the fact. Cortex plugs. Another great product. We got a ton of them in this deck. So what I'm going to do, because that's kind of ugly right now, if you look over there, you see we've really siliconed the heck out of that area, because again, we don't want leaks. The only time this door might see water would be if the homeowner's pressure washing the deck or cleaning the deck or watering, washing it down. There's a low eave right here, so this area doesn't get too wet. It'll splatter and splash, but I don't expect a flood of water going up into these doors or anything like that. So we're going to get that done today. I still have to caulk around the chimney. This area is done. Come down here. This was one of my main concerns on this deck, where this deck drops levels, and I've triple flashed and caulked this space so that the water comes this way, and then it hits this bead of silicone, and then the water drains off like this. That's performing good as well. I'm happy with the way that's performing. All the water on this landing. Again, low eaves over here, so I don't expect too much water getting up near the house. It's just gonna stay nice and dry. Then we have a piece of fascia to put in right here. which has been missing for a while. I just haven't gotten to it, which I hope to get to that today. And then we have one more set of cable rail to install on the staircase. And those are the things I'd like to get done today before we start soffiting. But I think if I try to do all of that, the guys are gonna be standing around waiting for me. There might not be a whole lot for them to do. So we'll probably team up and do soffit for a while. But I wanna see if I can get this last threshold done. Then basically I'm done on this deck up to this chimney. And then I can just focus on getting from here down and off. So that's what's going on today. So I'm cutting up a $15 piece of material for this little sliver. But if I don't do it, it's not gonna look good, so be it. Sometimes you can't figure something out until you actually see it in person, you know? Hopefully I have enough caulk to finish this one line. It's gonna be close. Quarter inch to spare. We're gonna have to rip the tongue off, the tongue off of, so we can put the screen in there and then start working our way out. And then we're just gonna have to figure out how we're gonna make that translate into as we go around the corner. So we're each gonna pick a gun, and we're gonna stay with that gun, because once you get used to how it shoots, you wanna be flipping back and forth with your guns. This is 20 feet, so we'll take our first board, we'll stick it up there, we'll install it, but we gotta rip the tongue off of it first. Let's go prep a couple boards, and then we'll go from there. I should have a spacer probably. Hey, sorry for the short episode. I ran into a couple complications and we're working on those to get those resolved. We'll explain later. Just got to get back to it. I need to make a couple phone calls, and it's just one of those days. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. If you like what you saw, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the bell icon if you want to be notified when we're putting out fresh content. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.